Farmers and ranchers in the United States must also suffer damage from animals such as wild boar. White-tailed deer is not only affected by weather factors such as drought or flood, coyotes, and wild turkeys. Outside of Texas or California. If you live in the suburbs, and chances are you will see deer and wild boars leaving the woods and heading towards the gut in search of food. Although they seem innocent, they are known to be two of the most destructive wildlife species. In addition, coyotes are also the most annoying predators for cattle ranchers. 2021. According to a report by farmers in Texas and California, wild boar cost them about $1.7 billion. In particular, the vegetable production. This is a herd of wild boar in the city of San Antonio in California has suffered about $650 million in damage caused by wildlife. With about 3.5 to 4 million heads. In recent years, Texas has always been the state with the largest number of wild boar in the country, accounting for nearly half of the country's wild boar population. In the south of Texas, each year, a female wild boar usually start breeding when they are 6 months old. Female boars adapt. The number of wild boar in the United States one litter, and the number of piglets born is about 10 to 50. With the ability to reproduce quickly has always remained high, even though millions of pigs are killed each year by hunters across the country. Currently, in addition to Texas, wild boar is also very popular in states like Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Southern California, of about $2.7 billion. Although they are wild animals and often in the forest, it is estimated that each year this animal causes agricultural losses across the country. The herds of wild boar do not hesitate to head to the field. Large fields of corn, vegetable, or wheat are often the favorite destinations when they discover there is an abundant food source. Considered an invasive species and extremely hard for 1 week. Imagine what would happen if a herd of about 25 wild boars visited your corn farm and boar herds. They can even hide and destroy crops there for weeks before agriculture to minimize their impact on agriculture. In the United States, wild boar is an unprotected animal. Most states in the United States encourage people to trap and hunt wild boar without. After being trapped, these wild boars will be killed by humans before being brought home to be processed or sold to restaurants. It is estimated that every year many farmers even kill dozens of wild boar and do not bother to pick up their carcasses because their ability to reproduce and adapt is very good. 1.5 and 3 million wild boars are killed by. However, this does not reduce the number of invasive. In addition to wild boar, just because they are so used to wild boar meat. Today, coyotes are found in every state of the United States except for Hawaii. Better adapted to changing conditions than are also one of the most annoying animals for ranchers in the United States. And there is almost no animal in the United States, thanks to the ability to adapt to extremely good living and few natural enemies. But female coyotes normally become pregnant when they reach 1 year old, and the gestation period lasts just 2 months. Coyotes in the United States has always increased rapidly. Estimates by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. California is home to the largest number of coyotes. Coyotes spend most of the day roaming because the ability of this animal to reproduce is very good. This number may actually be much different in reality, with about 750,000 creatures. And at night time is usually the time when they go forage. This is also the time when many coyotes come close to livestock farms to feed. Their food is usually rodents and the carcasses of dead animals. In addition, it is not uncommon for coyotes to attack and kill farm animals. About 117,000 livestock animals. According to USDA statistics, each year in the United States, this is also the wild animal that is responsible for the most loss of life. To limit the impact of coyotes on agriculture and to prevent population explosions of this species, each year, hunters in the US kill about 500. Most states allow the hunting of this animal for 12 months of the year. 50,000 coyotes, and most coyotes killed live fairly close to livestock. When it comes to animals that damage US agriculture, the white-tailed cannot be ignored. 6.7 million deer living in the United States, of which the number of white-tailed than wild boar. Currently, there are about even more. The damage caused by this animal to American farmers accounts for 81%. Basically, the behavior of white-tailed deer is quite similar to wild boar. The white deer will not miss the opportunity to feed. According to USDA estimates, in June 2020, they usually spend most of their time wandering in the forests. When spotted next to the living areas where there are fields or crops, white-tailed deer cost US agriculture about $2.5 billion and 33% of vegetable loss across the country. In addition, the white-tailed deer across the country is also the cause of hundreds of traffic accidents. This species is responsible for 58% of crop loss, making it the most hunted animal in the United States. According to the National Deer Association, about 6.1 white-tailed deer are killed by hunters across the country each year. The third most populous state in the US. Hello, my friends. Today we are going to visit New York. With about 8.5 million people living and working there, modern city in the United States. When it comes to the state of New York, we often think of to see how farming and livestock work in this state. And livestock. Famous agricultural products. However, New York is also one of the states with a fairly developed agricultural industry, with about 7.1 million acres of land used for farming. In New York, there are about 33,000 fishing. Of that, 34% of the state's farms and 753 farmers markets in cattle, calves, corn, and many other fruits. According to statistics, in 2020, we are currently on a dairy farm in Wyoming County, West Central Center of the state. Concentrated in the Finger Lake area, which is considered the pasture right next to the farm to freely feed for about 3 hours. It is home to more than 300 adult dairy cows. Every morning, these dairy cows will be herded to about 3,500 dairy. Currently, in New York, every day, each adult dairy cow will need to eat in operation, and the number of dairy cows in the state is about 626,000 heads. In addition, other foods such as grain will also be 25 to 35 pounds of fresh grass to maintain milk when they return to the farm. In the late afternoon, milk, hundreds of dairy cows will be herded to the shed area, where they will be fed more roughage and grain. Processed at another dairy farm in here, about each dairy cow here usually produces between 6 to 8 gallons of milk. 100 dairy cows will be milked within 3.5 hours to a factory about 3 miles away for per day. Once the milking process and bottling before being sold on the market is complete, millions of pounds of milk will be transferred. Each year, New York produces about 15.7 billion pounds of milk in operation. With nearly 4,000 dairy, also creates about 27,000 jobs each year. In addition, the dairy industry in the next will go to a duck egg farm, and it is also the 4th largest milk producing state in the country. In New York's Genesee district, which is home to more than 400 ducks in the ducks. The majority of ducks here are raised in the harvesting stage. Currently, there are about 87 active farms in New York, with about 1.3. According to statistics, in 2020, can lay between 215 and 240 eggs per year for the purpose of egg harvesting. With a nutritious diet, each duck, in particular, the majority of duck farms across the country concentrated in 2 states, Wisconsin and ducks raised for meat and eggs. In the United States, there will be about 31.3 million to see how the harvest of corn goes on. Goodbye ranchers, we're going to a large cornfield in New York's Orange County, Indiana. Today, corn is the state's main crop, with about 1 million acres planted annually, making New York the 17th state in the nation in terms of corn acreage. Annual sales of corn silage in New York is around $313 million, and corn makes up 60% of dairy feed in the state. When it comes to farming, in New York, sweet corn is not as popular as in Florida or California. Instead, the bulk of corn production in the state is grain and silage. Currently, states second only to Washington, we cannot ignore apple farms. This is the second largest apple growing state in the United States, is about 613,000 tons. In New York, there are about 700 apple farms of different sizes in operation, and each year the apple harvest from fell go to a farm in Boston Lake area to see how farmers produce million farms of Western New York State. New York farmers harvest about 17,000 acres for peas each year. In New York, Farmers will plant pea seeds outdoors in early to mid-April. Peas are commonly grown in fields ranging from tons of peas here. Peas were amongst the first crops grown and harvested in New York. Time when peas are harvested in this. Once harvested, New York peas are usually shipped to the factory to be processed into frozen peas. With these state-of-the-art harvesting machines, farmers here can harvest around 18,000 pounds of peas per hour to 100 acres. November every year is